evening. Welcome to Oberlin College. This is the Cat and the Cream, which is our signature club where we often have jazz and other performances. So tonight we're excited to come to you live from one of our favorite spots in the college. As you can see, I'm wearing the mask for Black Lives Matter because this class is a playwriting class that is meant to respond to the time of Black Lives Matter. These students have been working all semester live in a room together, creating their own pieces, and they're going to share some of their work with you tonight. As Caroline Jackson Smith is me, I am professor of theater and Africana studies. I've been here 30 years, believe it or not, and I'm excited to meet more students coming next year. I also want to say that we are having an amazing experience here this semester. We are one of the colleges who are here live in person, and we've had a minimum of cases positive, very small number, no excess quarantining, no spread, and we're planning to keep that going till Thanksgiving when we go home for this semester. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to our first playwright. Each playwright will introduce themselves, and others in the class may be reading their own work. So enjoy. See, I'm trying to keep my mask up in the correct position. So please enjoy the work from the class Playwriting in the Time of Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kira Markham, and I'm a senior at Oberlin College. I am a Law and Society and Anthropology double major with a minor in Africana Studies. Over the course of the pandemic, I was able to do research with Oberlin in which I looked at the devastating effects that COVID-19 has had on incarcerated populations, and it really helped me understand the scope of COVID-19 and its effects. This piece is based off of experiences that my coworkers and I had while waitressing at a country club pool in my hometown of Indiana. And the monologue mainly surrounds conversations that took place in regards to protests in support of Black Lives Matter. Splash. Oh, hey sweetie, so sorry. What's your name again? On second thought, I never remember names anyways. How about I call you Q? That's cute, huh? Splish. Okay, so I'll have a Bloody Mary. Yeah, make it a double. Why not, you know? Thanks, doll. Ugh, I just love her. Splish. Ugh, I can't believe what's going on today. Like, what even is June the 10th? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Splish. I have an appointment with my surgeon later today. Do you know how long it'll take to get back here? Ugh, I know. Can you believe people are actually paying attention to this shit? Maybe don't commit crimes to begin with and you'd have nothing to protest for, you know? Splish. And what the fuck on God's gloriously manicured lawn is playing right now? Splish. Hey Q, Angel, would you mind turning the station, you know? We're at a country club, not a rap festival. It's just a little offensive for the little ones, don't you think? Maybe some country? Yes, love this song. Ugh, thanks, babes. Splish. Yeah, like I was saying, I just don't get why their lives are more important, you know? Racist much, you know? Like, what happened to equality and freedom for all? Splish. It's like they just don't understand how hard some of us have to work. Just ignorance, really, I guess. Splish. You know, whatever. Can't let this ruin the day, am I right? Ugh. I have to leave soon. I'll just order another drink to my tab for when I get back. Ugh, who knows how long that'll take. It's just like, okay, don't waste my time just because you have time to waste. Some of us are actually busy, you know? Splish. Ugh, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. I'm actually friends with one of the officers working the protest. Yeah, he's just the sweetest. He'll let me cut traffic if I give him a little wink and smile. Splash. Thank you.
All right. Oh, the mic is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm Owen. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a sophomore here at Oberlin. The piece that you're going to hear is called A Public Dialogue. I chose this because I really didn't know where I was going with this piece until I shared it with everyone in the class, and that's what helped me shape the piece. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, so that's the lens from which I came to this class. The piece is set in 2020 on a college campus, and the characters were previously in a relationship, and they're played by Sidi and Kira. So, coming up.
A public dialogue. B enters first, continuing across the stage, followed by A, before B can exit. There may be other unnamed entities who would be milling in the background.
Hey, hold on a second.
What?
I want to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay, well, I wanted to explain
Mm-hmm.
about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I realize now that you probably just don't understand.
What?
You don't understand why people didn't like what you said about Black Lives Matter.
Wait, we're talking about this again?
Yes.
So we're not gonna...
What?
We're not gonna talk about... Well, why are you here?
I'm here to help you understand that what you said was wrong.
Wrong.
Hurtful.
That's funny.
What?
What about what you said?
Well, this isn't about you, and you should
Wow.
stop making it about you.
Me. I'm making this about me?
Yes.
No, I don't want to do this right now.
Wait a minute,
I
you
don't
don't-
care. Why can't you just leave me alone if you're gonna cut me off?
I really am trying to help this situation by talking to you. Please, can you just listen to what I have to say?
Fine, since it seems like I don't have a choice.
Look, I know this isn't fun for you,
Yeah.
but are you gonna listen? I can tell this is painful for you right now, but I need you to be mature and attempt to have a conversation without getting heated.
How am I supposed to do that? You're the one that started this whole thing.
Well, maybe consider the possibility that you don't know the full story.
Clearly.
Seriously, do you even know why what you said was hurtful?
Yeah?
And the reason is?
Because what I said was racist or something?
And?
And what?
That doesn't answer my question. Why?
I don't know.
Exactly. You don't know.
Well, if you're so much more woke or something, then perhaps you can enlighten me. How am I being racist? I simply asked you, don't all lives matter?
First of all, even if I said everything I could think of, that wouldn't even be half of it. And
Well-
also, I'm not finished. When someone says Black Lives Matter and your instinct is to disagree, then maybe take a moment and think why that was your first
If
response.
you just let me...
Let you what? Make excuses? I came here to talk to you, not to argue. Black Lives Matter, and this is not some debate or fight between us. If you can't even try to see more of the picture, then I was right to cut myself off from you.
Wow. You don't give a shit about me. Does this make you feel better about yourself? Is that why you came to talk to me? Using this as an excuse to...
My God, you are still playing the victim. Stop pretending like you have no power.
But you canceled me.
I'm not the oppressor here. Why are you fighting me on this?
Because you're fighting me.
I'm not trying to fight you.
Then what are you doing?
You know what? You figure it out. I can't waste any more energy on this.
Wait. So I'm just canceled? You can't just leave like this.
Yes, I can.
Are you kidding me right now?
I won't put myself through more pain for your sake just because we're friends.
Oh, so we're just friends now, huh? Because you got offended?
You have no idea. And at the same time, you expect me to hold your hand through all of this, even after seeing my pain. How do you think I feel?
What are you talking about? I didn't even do anything to you.
Didn't do anything? You asked me, don't all lives matter? I am literally...
I asked because no one else would tell me.
You're smart enough to figure stuff out on your own. No one should have to tell you, including me.
You owe me an apology.
Wow.
You say that all this as if I don't matter to you.
I said Black Lives Matter. I said nothing about the value of your life,
But
unless you think that devalues your whiteness.
No. I'm not racist. You know me. I care about you.
If you actually did...
I do, I swear.
Then prove it.
I haven't killed anyone.
But people still dying, ain't they? Black people and LGBTQ people.
You think I don't know that?
I thought you did. I really fucking thought. I thought if anyone in this world understood, you would. But you won't even own up to your own mess, let alone stand up for my life. You can't look outside yourself for one moment, even for me. I can't do this anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lucemia Mullen. I'm a second year. I use she, her, hers, and this is a monologue I wrote. It's about San Francisco, which is where I'm from. I was born in the gold country. My folks who came on coffin ships and went out west to reach the warm womb of San Pancho's mission. In St. Luke's arms, I first did cry, mourning the loss of an untouchable space from where I had been so violently ripped. My da would sing to me, she's a miner, a 49er, playing a little tawny mandolin with silver detailing he had gotten at age 19 in Inishbofin. And the ancestral chorus would chime in. San Francisco was worse before. My parents have told me this. The mission, more dangerous. Now there's new money buying out the culture, consuming the streets from east to west. The Fillmore Strip, overtaken by white millennials working in venture capital. And as this happens, gentrifiers take pride in and adopt the culture that was created by the people who built these communities, these places of holy sanctuary. Their stone walls were breached and torn by some insidious hand claiming divinity. Though the city buses will always be reserved for the poor and evicted, the 22 Fillmore is one of the greats. It'll softly carry you from the mission, through the Fillmore, and to the water. It picks up those who pass through Angel Island and delivers them to safe spaces. Like a little golden chariot, the driver doing God's work, and to be there was to be brought back to my cozy pink womb, impenetrable.
Hi, my name is Matsuri Somatabula. People call me Tsiri. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a first year. I'm from Atlanta also. This piece is part of a larger play that I'm working on, which explores, among other things, the way racism affects one's mental health, the mental health of the characters, and the way the mental health of the characters affects their familial relationships. At this moment, one brother, Samuel, just believed that he was shot but realized he wasn't, and he's sort of spiraling thinking about what this means. Eli is his brother coming back after not seeing the family in a while, and they are talking through this together, figuring out what their present and their future might look like. Samuel is being played by Joshua, and Eli is being played by Peter, so I hope you all enjoy.
Tall people problems.
Short people problems.
So I go by Joshua. My full name is Leonard Joshua Jackson.
I'm Peter Freywitzer. I use he, him pronouns. I told Samuel when he was little, if you sweat hard enough, sometimes it'll cure your sickness. Little colds, the stomach bug, even a bad night or two. Sick is sick is sick. Just when you don't exactly feel like yourself. That could be a bad day sometimes, or a bad week, but sometimes just getting in bed, drinking something hot, telling yourself you gotta see it through to the next morning. Just sometimes you can get the sickness out of you.
Am I sick? Maybe I am sick. Maybe in a small way. I mean, I lied about my car accident, not knowing what I was doing when that's a little sick, isn't it? I mean, I lied because it's messy. And it's messy because it's ugly, and I never wanted it, and I never wanted you to know when you were there, when you go to the psych ward, everyone looks at you the same. And the same is not like me, because when you're like me, the nurses don't care. And they say it too. They tell me I'll get used to it. It's only in my head, or it's expected for someone like me. Or other shit they never say to white people. And it's not like you don't hear them, what they mean. It feels the same. It feels like that man seeing someone like me leaving the convenience store down the street, so drunk he couldn't even shoot me right. And it feels like me on the ground whispering. He did. Like having more scars than skin, and silence is a generational curse, and I want all the curses to in my family to end. And this is the only way I know how. And it feels like me not even being able to say what it is, because it actually is it. It feels like
Samuel hits his flat hand on his chest slowly to catch a syllable, like he's begging to be let into his old house with new owners he's never met. He tastes the letters in every word.
Violence. Violence. Violent.
Looking up, whispered like seeing God for the first time and hearing that he is welcomed, he belongs.
Violent. Like the lights. Huh. Like the paint on the wall. My brother Eli, he grew up when I was 10 and he was 14, and Trayvon Martin was killed. He told me, he was saying how they treat Trayvon as a hero, which he deserves, but he also told me, you ain't gotta be a hero.
You
don't need to be a hero anyways. You just need to keep breathing.
I know. I knew about the car. I figured, but you never said anything. Neither did Mom, so I left. Left it to her. I know, but I don't want to keep secrets, okay? Or give a speech while I'm crying because Mom expects me to. Don't want to hear your last words. I'm not going to be there for that. If that makes me an asshole, I'm an asshole. If I regret it, I regret it. You know, I hope you regret this. Well, not regret. That's not what I mean. I mean...
It's fine.
No, it's not. I know talking about death is awkward, because no one ever really knows what to say, and I know I'm not going to be the one to say it right, but this deserves the time for me to try, okay? Just, you know, every winter until you were 6, you were in the hospital, pneumonia. It was scary for me, and I know it was scary for you. Actually, I bet you don't remember. I don't expect you to. You were little. It's just, I was so scared of snow afterward, you know? You kept getting older, and I kept thinking to myself, it's gonna be this winter, it's gonna be this winter. And then that winter never came. And eventually I stopped wondering. And I don't expect you to think of me at every point in your life, but it snowed that day, okay? It snowed. This isn't about me. It's just not. It'll never be. But when Mom came home, some things can't be answered. I know, not by prayer or whatever. So maybe I was stupid to think I'd never see you in a hospital again.
Samuel stands and walks around his chair, not wanting to hear anymore. When Eli begins speaking again, Samuel stops and grasps the back of the chair with one hand, still facing away.
Wait, just listen. I know I was wrong. But we all know those stories that end that way. Never give us a happy ever after, even just a happy. I don't want that for us. Not saying it's gotta be now. I'm not saying stories need happy to end. I'm not saying stories need to end, really. I'm just saying maybe a year from now, 2, everything will just stop. Not that way. I mean, the way where you see your baby sister laughing, or when you feed her Cheerios at her high chair. Those little moments where nothing else exists. And it makes the big moments where everything exists, it makes them worth it. Just a little bit.
Samuel presses hands into the back of the chair, turning towards Eli again.
It's stupid. I sound stupid because they're so tiny, and sometimes it feels like they mean nothing. And maybe it's because they do mean nothing. But, I mean, you gotta find something. This has gotta be for something.
Samuel exits upstage through a flap in the white scrim, leaving the chair on which he sat. As he turns and exits stage left, carrying more weight than when he first entered, you can tell he's lived by the way he walks. There is no visible bright light at the end that he can see from here, but he chooses to walk anyways.
One day, I hope it's for you.
Eli exits through the flap as well, turning stage right the way he entered. The purple spotlight is still focused where Samuel sat, and golden spotlight where Eli sat. They all fade to black.
Thank you. Okay, how y'all doing? Thank you so much for coming into this space. I know our class appreciates it. I know I appreciate it. I go by Joshua. I'm actually from Cleveland, Ohio. I hope my father is watching right now. I know I sent you that link. I'm an Africana Studies major with arts concentration, living in a house. Shout out to the house, for real. And today I'm performing a piece that's a part of a larger piece that's actually, I want the work to span from the enslavement era up to now. And even maybe speculative into the future, to the point where it's a reflection of my own experience, but also our experience as Black Americans. So let's get into it. I cried enough for no tears to fall for 1,000 years, so that my children's children will have vengeance after 1,000 nooses, so that no, they won't have to leave to prove there's something so unmistakably Black and excellent. You will receive this. You couldn't fuck with me as a child. My daddy's so black, he watched Friday on a Friday with enough sugar in his Wheaties to run the highway. Wow, you couldn't fuck with me as a child. My daddy's so black, the kitchen light stayed on, like my grandmother's spirit stays on, like diasporic children stayed on, while whites built mass graves on any land but their own. Wow, you couldn't fuck with me as a child. But you could miseducate me with high school tethered fake dreams. By any means, 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 my enemies, 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 my enemies. Break me down in the fall leaves park. Break me down in the hollow trees bark. Dad, leather jacket, back seat, sleep, sip, Sprite, my favorite gift. Light me up in this Chevy truck. My last smile for a long while, I lack trust. In water I drink. Last I swam, I didn't swim at all but sink. I willed death like my old favorite gift. Chest full of rusted chains against my wish. Chest full of promised pains, anxious at classroom colonized kids. Your father couldn't hold a family like a park bench. My daughter wear her hair so proud in her dark skin. They only let you niggas out for economics. They only lock you niggas up for stock options. My child's child is my savage revenge. Tell me again, daddy, I'm royalty. Tell me again, daddy, I'm more than me. Tell me again, Kenny, I'm mortal, man. They even judge you for the shit at the fan. I had dreams of the millions of fans. Psych. How could I dream of the limelight when my heart react like stoplight at the sight of the cop light? Suicide by cop. I fantasize in a colonized state of mind, right? Right. 11 years old. 11 and cold. It's written in code, you won't survive as a black child. My old soul foretold your fuckery even at 11 years old. But Trayvon Martin's cold body told me before Chadwick Boseman that I had a purpose to execute even at 11 years old. It could have been me, Tamir Rice, in a park so cold at 12 years old. My black boy conditioning at 11 years old. I cried enough tears for no tears to fall for 1,000 years, so that my children's 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 children will have vengeance, 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 vengeance after 1,000 nooses, so that no, they won't have to prove this something so unmistakably black and excellent. You will receive this by any means, 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 by any means. My enemies, my enemies, my enemies, my enemies, my enemies, my enemies, my enemies. Run, run, run. Thank you.
Hello, I don't know if any of you are joining us now or if you've been with us since 8 o'clock, but I'm Caroline Jackson Smith, Professor of Theater and Africana Studies. Last year at the spring semester, as all of you know, life stopped abruptly in the middle of March. We did a heroic act of sending our young people to their homes, retooling our curriculum, and we were challenging ourselves about whether or not to create some new programming that might respond to that moment. So I created a class in last spring, the second half, one in a remote pattern, that was called Playwriting in a Time of Crisis. And 15 young people signed on. We were all on Zoom, and we spent the second half of that semester writing and reflecting about what it meant to live in that moment. It went so well that I decided this fall to create the class called Playwriting and Performance in the Time of Black Lives Matter. And those are the young people you're meeting tonight. I love this class. It's 10 students, and 8 are in the room every week, and 2 are beaming in remotely from Chicago and New York. So at this point, our remote student, Tony Singfield from New York, is going to read you one of the pieces that he wrote. Tony, are you ready? You can start whenever you're ready.
Good evening,
What
y'all.
it's like to be in class. Some remote, some present.
My name is Tony Singfield. I go by any pronouns. I'm a second year, and here is my monologue. My name is. Did I say Tony Singfield already? I'm not sure, but there you go. My name again. Here we go. You know, my biggest dream is to decriminalize homosexuality across the globe. Of course, I got other dreams, like getting famous or having a really successful music or acting career. And if I could meet Beyonce, or better yet, have a song with Beyonce, ooh, I would probably not. I would literally just write my will so I could die in peace. Seriously though, I was in high school when I found out that countries still say my people are not allowed to exist. I hate that I learned that so late. Learning that meant respective world leaders did not think LGBTQ people had anything valuable to contribute to society. Learning that as late as I did meant that nobody cared enough to do something about it. I could write an entire horror series that describes some scary ass times in my life. I could convince any hetero that the world of gay is a literal nightmare. Now I'm only 19. I can't imagine what that nightmare would be like if my nation's entire justice system overtly denied my existence. Nah, not saying they believe I don't exist. Nah, not saying they think it's a choice that they just don't agree with, but saying I don't give a fuck about this community. Just keep that shit away. This is not a choice. My queerness is not a decision. I did not decide my struggles. Tell me why I would want more pain. Inform me how it makes sense to want to see more of my people die. How do you confuse my tears of pain to some extreme form of sadism? How dare you say I love my child and then say unless you love the wrong way? My love is bright and unfiltered and uncanny. My love can spin circles around you and then make you cry for not ever being introduced to that type of bliss. My love can make your darkest night shine brighter than the sun. This right now, you just getting my anger. Yeah, you getting my rage, but you won't get my hate. My hate? That could kill. Someone once told me that hate is just the last layer, but beneath that is anger. Under that, hurt. And under that, whew, that's the best layer. That last layer, That last layer is love. My dream just requires you to be absent of hate. So tell me, what the fuck are you so angry about? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Peter Freywitzer. I use he, him pronouns. I'm from Lexington, Massachusetts, and I am a first year here at Oberlin. The piece that you're about to see is a short dialogue that I wrote. It originally has dance and music and lighting aspects. That is not quite possible where we are right now, but it will be read in the stage directions by Miss Caroline. And I'm hoping at some point it will get staged. And anyway, this is basically about mental illness and the frustrations of basically being told to sit still, being like an act of violence towards kids who are struggling to understand their own mental health. And yeah, the two characters in this play are a person and a spirit, and they're basically two parts of the same person who is a little bit at war with themselves inside of their mind. And these characters are going to be played by Celie and Isaiah.
I'm going to read stage directions. As Peter said, they're very important to this piece. One of our assignments was to think about design elements, stagecraft, all the ways that a play can communicate beyond dialogue. So, a spirit and a human walk through the woods. The sun is low in the sky, streaming through the trees. The person has frequent tics and twitches and might even be playing with something in their hands, all of which the spirit does not seem to notice, but might be made more noticeable to the audience by changes in light or short, soft tones, like the plucking of a guitar string. The person keeps looking over at the spirit as if trying to formulate a question. A few times they might start to say, "Who are you?" but decide it's too rude. They settle for,
How long will you be here with me?
As long as you're in the woods, I melt with sunlight.
Where do you go?
Your shadow, of course, but I do not hear you from the ground or whatever I fall on as you walk. And clearly, you do not hear me, though I speak to you.
No, I do. Sometimes. I always just thought I was talking to myself.
You are.
Does that make me crazy?
Yes. Are you afraid of that?
long silence as B contemplates this, they continue to walk, the shadows of the trees falling on their faces.
What do you do when it gets dark, my shadow?
You are asking me what shadows do when everything is shadows? We dance, don't we?
Spirit spins around elegantly. The dappled light on the stage shifts around as if the trees are twirling with them.
I'm dizzy.
Spirit stops spinning. The light's also steady. Points at B, chuckling.
You're always so dizzy inside your head, huh? Is that what you think is wrong with you?
Spirit starts dancing, but slower, more rhythmically, the focus on the flow instead of rapid movement.
Is this better? You can do this, can't you? Look at me move. I melt in the sun and I dance in the darkness. And when it's half and half, I'm not even just floating, I'm swimming. I got direction. You can make me dance the way you want.
Psh, not always, shit.
But you can. You can sometimes. You feel crazy yet? Feel like you want to move? Dance with me.
Spirit grabs B's hands and they reluctantly begin to dance. The closest type would be probably swing, but it's a little more organic than that. The choreography should be at least partially, but better if entirely, created by the actors who play the characters in the scene. It fits the characters and the actors' bodies. The music is drum heavy with some fiddle. The music should also be inspired by actors' choices, but should be close to a klezmer style and with a persistent beat. Ideally, this would be performed live by players, but it's not required. B pulls back, the beat slows and quiets as the music fades with the crackle of a gramophone.
Well, what's wrong now? Keep dancing, come on.
Not supposed to.
What do you mean? Everyone's supposed to dance.
No, I do dance. I dance too much. Always moving around in my chair at school. Teachers call me twitchy. How does everyone do it? The clock watchers and the suit and tie folks, how do they sit still all the time? No shaking legs or fingers tapping and all that stuff I do. And the other kids sitting there, straight spines, nails unbitten, not so much as a tapping foot. It's so easy for them.
Ugh, I don't know. Cut 'em, and I don't think they'd even bleed. Moving makes you alive, don't you forget. And don't you ever wish you could stop. Moving is breathing. You want to stop doing that? You can be still when you die. Now dance with me. You're only still the day you die, and hell if I'm gonna let that be today.
Who are you? Guardian angel or something? I don't believe in those.
I'm a figment of your imagination. How could I possibly be something you don't believe in? Would you get a load of this kid, guardian angel?
Spirit looks over at their companion, realizing they've been a little harsh. They continue with a lighter tone.
I'm no angel, just a spirit of sorts.
You a ghost? A ghost to who? You don't look like anyone I've known.
Guess again. See, most folks, they get to be children. They get to dance without care. Tell me, what was it like to be a child?
I was worried a lot, I guess.
There it is. I'm all the parts of you that you didn't get to have.
Those parts of me are dead?
Oh, no. You keep thinking I'm a ghost. Do I look dead to you? I'm still here, like your shadow. I don't go away.
What am I supposed to do with that?
Always thinking about what you're supposed to do next. You never think that some things don't exist for you to figure out. Sometimes things just are. Sometimes you just dance.
As they speak, the music fades back in, starting with the drum beat.
You ever wonder why you never sit still? It's all the dancing you never got still in you.
Pounds their heart to the beat of the drum.
Ba-bum, ba-bum. You feel that? It's all inside.
Both begin to dance as they did before, B looking more sure of themselves. B then closes their eyes and spins slowly around with their arms out, basking in the sunlight. The shadows slowly dissipate, the light overtaking the stage. Spirit exits as if they are fading out, looking at B fondly. Shortly after, B stops spinning, eyes still closed. They lower their arms slowly, facing the audience and letting out a long, calm breath. They open their eyes.
Hey, I think I get it.
Looks around to see Spirit has disappeared.
Where did you?
They settle down. Another short breath. They close their eyes, lightly beating their chest.
Thank you.
Lights dim and spin, then fade, and music rises as B slowly dances into the darkness.
Thank you.
Okay. I think next we're going to do a piece by one of our other remote students, Dam Ogunjimi, but there are two actors here who are going to read his piece, The Gravedigger. So I'll call Sidi and Joshua to the stage.
Okay, so hey y'all, Joshua again. I'm going to be reading the stage directions as well, so just as a note. This is a piece by Dom. Let's begin. Catholic cemetery at night. A grave is being dug. Dave, the deceased person's loved one, her only one, sits in the dirt, slumped to the side next to a bottle of rum. The body, wrapped in muddy cloth since the coffin cost too much, sits on the other side of the deepening hole. The steady rhythm of the shovel hitting the dirt hitting more dirt that can be heard. What am I gonna do now?
What you want about now?
What do you mean? My grandmother just died.
So, you just gonna cry forever?
We're literally burying her right now.
We?
Can't you see my emotional labor?
Nah, I don't get paid for emotional labor. Shit, I barely get paid for this. Look, kid, why don't you tell me about her?
What's there to tell? Don't even know how she died. No one heard from her for a couple of days, so I asked one of her neighbors to check on her. She was just on the ground, covered in blood. It looked like it had been one hell of a fight, but no sign that anyone else had been there, in or out.
You don't think that she,
Nah. She wasn't the type. Besides, we had plans that weekend. Go to the pier, tease some seagulls, talk about the family we don't talk to.
that's why you're the only one here? That's messed up, man. Not even her own kids came?
That's what happens in my culture when you're accused of being a witch, especially the women. And when you refuse to cut them off, they call you a witch too. They say it can be passed through the genes, like it's a sickness or something, or a curse.
So you telling me I'm in a graveyard late at night with two witches? You sure I'm not digging my own grave? You sure you ain't finna sacrifice me to get your grandmama back?
Nah, it take more than that anyway.
Oh?
Enough people believe you're a monster, eventually you become one, right? Especially when they push you into it. Gotta survive with whatever you got.
Honestly, I've been working here longer than I can remember. Seen some funky shit, man, let me tell you. This ain't even up there. You know how many of your type I seen around here? Hell, there's one right now. We're supposed to chase him out and report him or whatever, but if the dead don't chase him out, who am I to get in the way? The way I see it, if the graveyard ain't a safe place for the damned, where is?
You think I'm damned?
You here alone, ain't you? I wouldn't worry about it too much, though. Being damned by people don't matter much. Everyone likes to think that they speak for God or some shit, but their opinions don't make no difference to the dirt or the worms. If God speaks through them, she's speaking through all of us, which means she's got plenty to say.
You're pretty progressive for a gravedigger.
Sorry. Death is progressive. A person lives their whole life just to return to where they came from. Their bones return to the earth, their spirit returns to the sky. Everything they ever knew, did, and loved lives on in the bones of their descendants. They're reborn with every drop of blood those bones make, and every lesson they taught that gets retaught. Everything they learned gets relearned. Every battle they fought, refought. Every breath their kids draw. Every kid their kids make. Life goes on. Death goes on. The sun don't ever stop chasing the moon. Everything that really matters gets passed on through the bones and through the blood by way of the bones, and the earth receives that which she first gave. At least she would if more people had the sense to stop using coffins. Shit, how are the worms supposed to eat and the soil get nourished through a wooden box? It's a scam, I tell you. Fucking scam.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
Yes, you have. Your mama taught you that after your first funeral, remember? She told you her mama told her, whose mama told it to her, and so on and so forth. Pass through the bones the way water passes through a tree, from the roots to the leaves. Or were you talking about the coffin thing? I'm telling you, man, those funeral homes make more off a single coffin than I do digging 50 graves. It's a scam, I tell you.
How'd you know that?
Kid, you'd be surprised what whispers of the dead are carried by the winds.
As if on cue, a breeze passes, chilling Dave. But why that? Why would they whisper about me?
Didn't you hear what I said earlier? This is a safe space for your kind. You know what they used to call y'all? The living dead. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Dead physically or spiritually, it don't matter. Either could land you in one of these here holes. But if you lived to tell about it, even better, came back reborn, better, wiser, stronger than before, and you end up showing people things they didn't think possible. The Romans saw it just once, and now we have these all crosses everywhere. But our people knew. Common enough that they knew it happened, but not so common that it wasn't special. Different. Scary even, you know?
In the light of the moon, the gravedigger's face can be seen clearly. His face and skin are ash white, contrasting the dark glimpses of skin that can't be seen underneath. He looks like a ghost. I don't get it.
Doesn't matter if you get it. All you gotta do is be it. And stop by every now and then. There's no better place for a living dead than to be among the bones of his ancestors. And we got plenty of bones.
The digger eyes the bottle of rum, still untouched.
You gonna drink that?
Nah, man. You can have that. The digger snatches up the rum and opens it.
I'm telling you, this is the only payment I ever need. Come on, kid. This body ain't gonna put itself in the grave. They said we can't do that anymore. Makes the white people think we're devil worshippers or something, you know?
Dave gets up, and the two go to pick up the cloth-wrapped body. The gravedigger takes the head, and Dave takes the feet, prepared to receive the baton from his grandmother, to walk his leg of a journey first started by ancestors long past and long forgotten, ready to go where they once did and where they never could, with the wind of those past pushing him forward. He never walks alone. Thank you.
Hello again. Caroline Jackson-Smith, Associate Professor of Theater and Africana Studies. Again, out there, I don't know if you're coming and going, staying with us for everything. So we've got a few more pieces you haven't heard yet, and we may also revisit some of the pieces that some of you may have heard in hopes that other people are joining us. Again, these are readings from the class Playwriting and Performance in the Time of Black Lives Matter. 10 students of all different graduating classes. I should mention that our juniors are off campus right now, but I'm doing another playwriting group with 5 juniors as part of a junior practicum during their off semester. They're playwrights who've been writing for a while. This class is wonderful because it's a combination of people who have a lot of experience writing, who are trying things for the first time, and it's been a really wonderful community in which to work together. At this point, I'm going to ask Kira Markham to come back. She's going to do another piece, different from the one you heard at the beginning, and after that, Owen Anderson is going to come up and do a different piece. We had a variety of assignments all semester. We started with monologues. We moved to dialogues, which are a lot of the pieces you've heard. The students are beginning to move on into their final pieces, and I think Kira's going to introduce a bit of her final piece in process.
Hello again. My name is Kira. I use she, her, hers. As Miss Caroline said, this is very far from finished piece that I am working on for our final. It is called Catalyst of Change. Ties are for guys. Guys who feel the need to impress upon others their wealth and status given to them at birth that came from a woman who was never allowed to wear a tie, tied her down and never let her oppressed upon her a role that gave her second-hand status of her conditions her to believe she can never wear a tie, tied to bountiful land and Atlantic waves of unimaginable depths of carrying the weight of the world concerned with carrying guys who don't always deserve a tie, tied her down to lift themselves up above the hardships she faced faces that look down upon her for not wearing a tie. Tied with rope, tied around her hands, hands up, hands out, outstretched to touch and feel, feeling lost. Lost at sea, yet surrounded by white, whiteness so blinding it hurts. Hurt is better than cold, cold, lifeless bodies, bodies innocent of the torture they endured hate, pain, and death for what? What place are they in now? Now they have to keep both hands on the wheel of misfortune. Misfortune for one is gain for another. Another loss, another story left untold and untied. Ties aren't just for guys. Guys and girls don't even exist. Existence doesn't come from being one thing. Things make up the earth. Earth filled with men, women, and all in between black or white, white faces, white houses, white agendas. Agendas with no life, love, or color. Color that defined who she was and what she could do. Do more is what she did for others and for herself. Herself, her life, her decision. Decision to stand. Stand up for those who were silenced by color, sex, and status. Status update is here. Here to wear a tie. Ties aren't just for guys. Thank you.
Hello again. I'm Owen Anderson. I use he, him pronouns. I think I forgot to mention that I'm an intended theater major at a playwriting performance. That was a good one. I'm going to do my monologue. Excuse me, it's been a while since I've visited this piece, so I'm going to be using my phone. And once again, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I drove into Baltimore for a Saturday protest. I brought a mask, some hand sanitizer, and water. Every once in a while, I would turn around, see an endless parade of faces, signs, masks, fists, thousands strong. My community was here. I would feel lifted for a moment in the crowd. As we marched through the city, everyone came out to watch. We screamed, yelling names, familiar chants, and ones we made up on the spot. We stopped the city peacefully. Police were there too, and they didn't do a thing. Not in the sunshine. I felt I'd accomplished something, but I have doubts all the same, because you didn't hear about Baltimore in 2020, did you? But you remember 2015? See, the piece was not publicized. Almost all the airtime was spent on conflict taking place at night, like theater. Villains are killed in Shakespeare through conflict, shown as villains for all the world to see. For all the world's a stage, said some white man. In the heat of battle, we cannot remember our humanity. Violence must be served, consumed, and reproduced to be inflicted on another for the system to maintain itself. So when TV hosts started condemning protesters, shouting about radicals taking over the country, rambling about law and order, but never mentioning justice, I was not surprised. This was not new, so why now? Why would Americans ever change? But I noticed a lot more people were paying attention to the news. And they weren't watching just for the violence. They were showing up, joining the fight. Corporations, nations, politicians, celebrities, athletes, newborns. Something was different about now. Perhaps I was wrong to be so critical. However, I still cling to my pessimism. Is this newfound success a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that in 2020, of all years that have been, People who had previously been comfortable with their reality suddenly showed up. Americans came out of their comfortable lives to reconcile with ugly truths. Really? Perhaps people ventured outside because their lives are no longer comfortable enough to lull them into complicity, having been shut inside for so long with nothing to watch but sickness. People were finally seeing what they previously could conveniently ignore. They came out of their homes, which had become so small. Maybe they thought being outside might save someone. Perhaps they consider themselves allies, joining the fight, but only when challenged to do so. But I hate to judge people I don't know. My question remains. Why now? Thank you.
Okay, what I love about teaching at Oberlin College is the talent, the creativity. I love that I'm in Africana Studies and Theater. I'm the chair of the theater department right now, but my heart belongs in both departments, and we have a thriving Black Arts curriculum, a thriving theater department, and a thriving Africana Studies department, which covers the gamut between philosophy and history, education, literature, and politics. And as I said before, we have a strong arts core with several of us who are dual appointed in either art, music, theater, dance. So I encourage you to learn more about us. So we have a couple more pieces coming up. One of our students who just came from another rehearsal is joining us, Graciela, and I believe that she is part of performing Isaiah's piece. So I'm going to introduce Isaiah to introduce his piece.
Hello. My name is Isaiah Schumann-Manders. I am a first year here at Oberlin College, undecided major. What else about me? I am a thrower on the track and field team here at Oberlin, which has kind of been difficult during COVID times, but we make it work and we have a lot of fun. And it's still enjoyable. So I'm glad to be here on campus. So the piece I wrote about is a conversation I had between me and my mom when I was 10 years old about who my birth father was. So a little brief context about my background to just make the piece a little bit more clear. I was adopted at birth. I am the second of 4 children. We all have the same birth mom, different birth fathers. I was adopted into an all-white family with 2 dads, and I live with my younger sister, who share the same mom, different dads. And so this scene takes place in an Cold Stone Creamery in Rochester, New York. And it's a conversation I had just kind of asking her who my birth father was and me dealing with getting to know who he was. Unfortunately, I do not have any communication with him, so it's kind of a little struggle. But yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say about my piece. And I have Graciela and CD performing, so Graciela will perform as my mother, and CD will perform as myself. Enjoy.
The Broken Puzzle, the Night Before. Stage context. Scene starts with lights coming up and the audience sees a woman pacing back and forth in her living room with a painting of a skeleton head railroad on the wall behind her.
I knew this day was going to come. I just didn't think it was going to come so soon. I mean, for God's sakes, he's only 10 years old. What could he ask about? How much should I tell him? How much are his parents okay with me telling him? This is a lot to think about before I see him tomorrow night. I mean, I want him to know everything that he wants to know, but how much should I tell him at this time? I'll sleep on it and give it some more thought in the morning.
The lights fade to black while a screen is being lowered from above the stage that will have projections of what a driver and passengers see out of the front of a car while driving.
Everyone should see me now! I'm surrounded by your embrace!
Baby, I can see your halo!
No, my sad away!
You're everything I need, boy.
Isaiah and his mom are in the car driving to the Cold Stone Creamery that is 10 minutes from his mother's house. And as you can tell, they were blasting the radio and having a great time. When they arrive outside of the ice cream store, Isaiah feels his heart sink into his stomach and starts to feel dizzy and can't look straight.
Are you okay?
They both get out of the car and walk through the first door, feeling the cold breeze from the fan above the door. As they go through the second door, they hear the loud-pitched, typical entrance bell. Overwhelmed by the smell of freshly baked waffle cones and warm brownies, Isaiah is able to feel nerves calm down just enough to come back to reality.
Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for asking.
The music fades, the screen turns off, and the lights come up to reveal a setting of an ice cream shop with the ice cream counter upstage left, 3 tables spread out center stage, and 2 large booths downstage. Isaiah and his mother walk in from downstage left towards the ice cream counter.
Can I have 1 scoop of cake batter and 1 scoop of One Smart Brookie in a cup, please?
Isaiah turns his head over his right shoulder to face the audience.
This looks so good. Can't wait to taste it.
Okay, let's find a place to sit and talk.
The lights fade out halfway to hide the ice cream parlor while a spotlight brightens up over Isaiah and his mother sitting in the booth. Isaiah turns his head to look over his shoulder to the left to face the audience.
Ugh, what am I going to talk to her about? This is too weird. Why am I so nervous? I don't know.
Why don't I start talking about your birth father, and then you can stop me whenever you have a question. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay. Your birth father, whose name was Dexter, was a really sweet guy. He and I met outside one day while he was playing a pickup game of basketball with some friends. Like you, he was mixed race, part Pacific Islander and black. You know, when you smile, you look just like him. You remind me of all the good parts of him.
Shh, 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 scraping the bottom of her ice cream bowl.
I'm just wondering why you said all the good parts.
What I meant was that when your father found out that I was pregnant with you, he decided to leave me to raise you all by myself.
After looking down his ice cream and stabbing it over and over again, Isaiah turns his head over his left shoulder to face the audience.
Who the fuck does that to someone they love?
Unfortunately, he did not leave me with his new address or any way for me to contact him in the future.
Wait. So you're telling me that he just left you because you were pregnant with me?
Yes.
Glad I don't know who he is. Ugh, but I want to at the same time. So then, what made you decide to give me up?
It was a hard decision for me to make, but I had to.
Why, though?
Because if I had kept you, we would have been homeless.
Homeless? Why would we have been homeless?
Because I did not have a steady job. And with a child on the way, there was no way for me to do both. A full-time job and get prepared to raise a child all alone.
Oh. Wow, I had no idea.
I know this is a lot to take in, so if you want to stop the conversation at any time, let me know.
To be completely honest, I have been feeling like I have to make up for all the guilt that Dexter should have felt for leaving you.
Sweetie, no. I don't want you to feel guilty about your father. What he did was unforgivable and disgusting, but You have nothing to feel guilty about. How long have you felt this way? Is there anything I can do to make you feel better?
I've been feeling this way for a long time. It feels as though my life is a puzzle, and everyone in my life has a few pieces, but no one has all of them, and I'm not sure if anyone ever will. There's not much help that I can get from others right now. I mean, I've been bullied ever since I started middle school, and this is just another part of my life that I will have to bottle up inside.
You've been getting bullied at school?
Yes.
Why, son?
The other kids say I act gay and girly or whatever that means. They all tease me and ask me why I have no mother, even though I tell them about you. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Son, I am so sorry that kids at school are being such jerks to you, but you have been through so much. The fact that I am having this conversation with you while you are 10 years old goes to show just how mature and brave you are. You're better than those other kids in your class, and you need to know that.
Thanks, Mom. Anyway, back to Dexter, that ungrateful, self-centered, child-abandoning bitch. Before we had this conversation, I always thought that you both just didn't want to have a child, and that was the reason why you gave me to someone else. Now that I know that you had no other choice but to put me up for adoption, but you still chose to be a part of my life, it just shows how much you still love and care for and support me.
I will always love and support you no matter what. You mean so much to me. I hope that you and I will stay close and have conversations like these to help me talk through my past and realize just how strong I am to have given up 3 of my children, but only to have been able to know 2 personally.
3? You've given up 3 children?
Yes, you're the oldest. You have an older brother.
I have an older brother.
Yeah, you do.
I never thought that someone would be able to give me pieces of my own puzzle.
I'm glad I'm the first person to do so.
Wait, back to the fact that I have an older brother. Do you know where he is?
No. Well, yes, but I never really took the time to reach out and contact.
Sound cue.
Oh, okay. I just thought that for once I would be able to connect to the other part of me. The part of me that is pushed aside because there's no one left for me to find. All this white is just too much alike, but where's the black? Oh, that's right. It's dead inside. What can be alive if it's dead inside? So what am I supposed to hide? Matter of fact, where the fuck could I hide? Mother, oh mother, why am I always cast aside? Mother, oh mother, where can I find my other side? Mother, oh mother, I just want to die. Walking this earth and being alive is too much for any young black man to try. To try and blend in. To try and hide inside. To try and fly but get shot in the side. To try and cry, but there are no tears left to cry. Mother, oh mother, please let me be whole inside. All I ask is to feel complete and not feel like I'm being smashed with defeat that is always there holding my feet so I can't move, not even one fucking beat. I need to find my own fucking beat, a beat that will free my feet, a beat that will defeat my own instinct, an instinct to switch, to make me fit in like the ones who are deep within, the ones I strive to be, but will never set free. I just thought, for once, there was someone like me. Thank you.
As you can tell, these writers and performers draw from so many different poetic and musical and language-based thematic works, and it's such a joy to work with them. Oberlin has a thriving performance poetry scene. We have a group called O-Slam who have won in national competition. So we have music, we have poetry, and we have theater weaving in and out of our lives always. Graciela, who came in from a rehearsal for a senior capstone project that is being done via Zoom. It's being rehearsed via Zoom, and it'll be filmed for a production in January. So this year the theater department is doing the number of shows we normally do, but we've got Zoom, we've got audio, we've got film. Matter of fact, our first production later in November will be an audio version of Moliere's The Misanthrope, so I hope you'll listen in for that. And then in January through April, our second semester, we'll also have Fires in the Mirror by Anna DeVere Smith done by Zoom. And we're also going to have a play called Twilight Bowl, which will be filmed. And in the meantime, we've got several wonderful senior projects going on. The one that Graciela is a part of, which is Lauren Elwood Senior Capstone, examining Fosse movement. And so there are students in their own rooms learning movement and learning song and writing monologues as part of a Lawrence piece, which will also be released in a film version early next semester. And we have another senior, Anna Hubert Aubrey, who has crafted her own one-woman piece, and it will also be filmed live in the theater, and it will be available also in January. So I'm going to introduce Graciela, who has another piece for you, and after that, our other remote student, Dam Ogunjimi, is here, and he'll be performing as well. So Graciela.
Awesome. Hi. Okay. I'm Graciela Fernandez. I am a first year here. Oh, I'm so flustered. I'm sorry. I missed all the instructions for what I was supposed to say. But guessing from what other people said, I'm 19. I'm at Oberlin College, obviously. I hope to major in theater and psychology. Those are two really big passions of mine. Playwriting was something I discovered this semester. I've never done it before, and then I took this class and was like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. So so this particular piece, it's going to be my final piece as well. This is an excerpt from it, inspired by something, oh, by the way, St. Augustine, Florida, that's where I'm from. So inspired by something that happened while living in St. Augustine. I was walking around with a friend, just around downtown, and we had this Confederate statue in the center of town, and we had been lobbying to get it taken down, and it was being taken down. It was already passed by the board. It was done, but there was a rally that was there fighting to keep it up, even though there was no way for that to happen. There were a bunch of supporters, and so my friend and I were by there, and I was taking a video of what was happening, because why not? And then there was a woman who was at the rally who started following my friend and I for about say 3/4 of a mile, just following us very, just, 10 feet behind. It was really scary. She was very threatening. And so I wrote an entire play surrounding that, but in different situations. I hope you enjoy my piece. I will be having lovely Isaiah and the lovely Ceedie performing. And yes, that's all. Thank you.
She's still behind us.
Fuck.
Just
Can
keep
you walk
walking.
faster?
No, that's sketchy.
Fuck, Joe, she's still there.
I know.
She looks pissed.
I know.
This was a bad idea.
I know.
But we're doing the right thing. How could that be a bad idea?
You just said that it was a
I know, but...
Shut up and walk. Would you stop? Cameron.
Sorry.
What the fuck is that noise? That little popping sound that keeps...
Gum. I stepped on gum.
Dude, you've got to keep it together. We didn't do anything wrong. We had a right to be there.
They did too.
Exactly. They expressed their opinion, and we expressed ours. Freedom of speech, baby.
Yeah, but I don't think freedom of speech extends to public indecency.
Psh, nobody saw anything.
You shouldn't have peed on their flag.
Whoa, okay. I didn't pee on anything. I just squatted threateningly.
Whatever it was too far.
Too far?
Yes.
Were we not at the same
But-
rally? Right, so did you or did
Joe,
you not?
Joe,
Were you not
Jordan!
there? You know, Cameron.
No. You always take it a step too far. And now there's a very angry, very white, and very threatening with their hand on some holster-looking thing woman following us. I have every right to be freaking the fuck out. Fuck me, she's still there. And we didn't even get to go to Publix.
I'm sorry.
Joe, come on, it's...
No, seriously. I am sorry. I'm sorry that I took you along, and I'm sorry that you're such a little bitch.
That's not fair.
No, Cam. What isn't fair is that they get to wave a Confederate flag around without a second glance. What isn't fair is that they get to hand out nooses like party favors. What isn't fair is the lack of police at their little
Lucky
hick
for
rally.
you, or you'd be in handcuffs right now.
My God, Cameron, that is so beyond the point.
It's the entire point.
Whatever.
You're 18 now. You have a future to think about. We have college and internships and jobs to look forward to. And you can't throw away your chance at life just because you're upset over some stupid protest.
What the actual fuck, Cameron?
Can we just keep walking? I'm not talking about this.
No. Let's unpack this. Hey, Mamacita, you wait right there just a second. I have a future, right? And in my future, I'm gonna pursue what I love, and I'm gonna be successful, and it's gonna be great, right?
Joe.
But the minute that I try to help expand that privilege of success, of happiness, of living, I'm the asshole.
I'm talking about calculated decisions. I'm saying you need to pick and choose your battles. You can't just throw a hissy fit every time you see something you disagree with.
Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe I was out of line. Threatening to pee on that waste of fabric was stupid, fine. But you're saying I shouldn't go to protests? I shouldn't jump in the line of fire just because my future would be in jeopardy? It already is, Cam. And so is yours. Our future, no, our lives are in jeopardy the minute we step out the door. Well, actually, doors don't even matter anymore, do they? But you're saying I shouldn't take the extra risk for one day, for 1 hour.
That is not
How
what
are you
I'm
not
saying.
disgusted by the injustice?
I am.
How do you
It's
just
just-
sit there when people throw around the N-word
Come
like
on,
it's their
Joe.
God-given right?
You're
How
not-
are you not filled with rage after every
This
shooting?
isn't fair.
How?
You're not
How do
listening.
you live with yourself
Please,
staying
Joe,
silent? How do you
stop.
do it,
Listen,
Cam, huh?
please
How are you
stop
better
it.
than them?
Joe,
How do you
don't.
feel like
Stop
it's
it.
okay
Stop.
later?
Because I'm scared, okay? I'm scared. And I just wish this would all go away. And I want things to go back to normal. I don't want to risk my future, and I don't want to put my education and career on the back burner. And I just want to be allowed to not care. I have so much more important stuff to worry about in my life. I can't keep putting my time and energy into a dying movement. I don't know where that came from. Joe, come on. You know that's not me. Hey, Joe, look. She left. Joe?
Then you should go join her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if you were here earlier, I mentioned that we had 8 live in-person students for this class and 2 remote. One you met earlier, Tony Singfield from New York, and now you're about to meet the other one, Dom Ogunjimi, who is in Chicago, and you actually heard the piece that Dom wrote about the gravedigger. Dom is coming from senior seminar in Africana Studies because he is about to graduate in December. Yeah. And so, again, this is such an amazing campus because people are coming from things that are important, giving time, and wanting to meet you as well. So, I'm going to turn this over to Dom Ogunjimi from Chicago.
Hello. My name, I'm Oluwadamilare Ogunjimi. I also go by Dom. I'm a fifth year Africana studies major, formerly biochemistry. Um, so you can imagine it's a long road to go from science to where I am now. Um, the piece I am going to share with you is my monologue from very first assignment. A little bit of background information. It's based in traditional Yoruba cosmology. It's written from the perspective of Eshu, who is the Yoruba trickster god. He's usually associated with Satan nowadays, but really he's this entity of the crossroads. He exists in places in between, places that are often demonized. He exists at crossroads, doorways, transitionary periods. He places where everyone has to pass through, but no one wants to stay if it's up to them. And so it's kind of this is about essentially being in between, being in space, being in a demonized space, never really fitting in. So yeah, so here is Eshu's rant. If you forget your mother's name, does that make her any less your mother? Until a child's eyes have begun to open to the world, he thinks his mother's name is Mom, Ma, Mama, Iya, Yeah. Does he not? And does she not still answer, if you cannot say your Ori, your own head, does that mean it can't guide you? Knowing your head is why we have mirrors, and water that takes on form, and spirits that reflect the self. Now, to be honest, I didn't have to look into a mirror to know that I'm as ugly as I am beautiful, to know that my crown always fits just right, even when it's crooked. Some will call that wisdom, but those that call themselves wise would say it's foolishness. Who's to say which is which, as long as I do what I came to do? They say they can tell me what crown I'm wearing, but didn't I see it when I was putting it on? Don't y'all think I take it off sometimes just to bask in its glory? Oh, but now for my chakra, I'm prideful. Good. Better to be prideful than to trade in foreign chains for homeland bondage, isn't it? Who knows? I guess that's why they call me trickster, call me devil, call me evil. Because I remind them that all any of us have our guesses. Because I'm hard to control, hard to rein in. The blind leading the blind, isn't that what they call it? That's why they don't want me to, that's why they don't want me in the house. Who do you think built this house? Who do you think knows which brick to pull to send it all crumbling on their heads? Who do you think knows which stone to throw to cripple their efforts? That's why they send me outside. Can't keep one who knows too much in the church, especially when he stops playing along. What's the game? They tell you that without them, you can't know who you are, that you can't know who died so you can be. But here's the secret. So long as you can bleed, you can't deny your own blood. So long as you breathe, you can't deny your father. So long as you are, you can't deny your mother. Who are you? Go look in the mirror. Who are you supposed to be? Choose. Thank you.
I've been working with Dom for a few semesters, and Dom is also an incredible visual artist who is writing graphic novels and who's also done a lot of study in Yoruba art, culture, religion, and practice. We did one whole semester looking at Nollywood, contemporary Nigerian films, and so he is a multi-talented young person, and I'm excited to see what happens next. I believe that Joshua Jackson is going to come back up and do an additional piece. So welcoming Joshua.
How y'all doing? So, this piece is a part of the whole piece that's going to expand from the enslavement era beyond, but it is in a different notebook because I stay writing. Yes, it actually, so here's the thing about what I'm creating. I'm producing the music for all of the sections, which is like really dope because I'm really dope. But also I haven't had the music like here, so you won't hear the music, but prepare for that in the future because it will be produced in its entirety. So I'm going to just speak it out. This piece represents part of the finale, part of the, if the last one was the coming of age, this one is being in that, resting in that age, but still being restless. Are you not surprised that all of us waiting patiently, standing above you waving it, reckoning black in the back of your head chakra that's saving you? Dead fathers and mothers, no gravestone for brothers and sisters. You getting charged for the bullets missed. That's mission to kill us, to kill the image identity. To the point that black militancy seems threatening to blacks. I detonate the facts. You either make yourself small, surviving that way, or you make yourself too big, can't feel it no way. The feeling apocalyptic normality. The feeling your stock rise, make up for your cock size, how flattering. Elevated your office, I got the bat for battery. My granny told me keep steady shoulders. She never told me my name over. That's not my name, don't call me over. Even in my dreams, they pull me over. How do you bleed in your darkest times? Where's your heart in your darkest rhymes? Where's your daughter when you hear her cries? Where's your God when they rape the sky? Miseducate, sterilize the vibe, and watch your leaders die by FBI. You kill yourself, I bet you hear yourself. Generations of crowned nations attacked over generations that had patience. I hate patience, I lack patience, I lack giving a fuck. When you can sleep black, be out of luck inside a nation that give no fucks about a woman, black, trans, a man, a non-binary, fuck the man. Just go to class, everything is normal. That's your ass, Mr. Postman, pornos, IGs, Bentleys, TikTok sent me. Plenty for my veins, plenty for my veins, plenty for my veins. Watch the game, the NBA, forget yourself in daily fade. Forget the chains, the blood that paved your way. Forget the chains, the daily fade, the blood that paved your way. Take me away. Take me away, take me today, take me today, 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 today. Make the monster, take the monster, break the monster, make the martyr, make the child that hate the child stuck in the wild. Make the monster, take the monster, break the monster, make the martyr, make the child that hate the child stuck in the wild. If I had a quarter every time we step on a landmine that blows up the spine of a man, I take my billions to Ghana, watch I invest in a plan along the now. All along we had it in chest, the heart beats a step ahead of the best. I take my peace of mind and make peace from mine. Eat from mine, I take an eye at a time. Eat from mine, I take an eye at a time. Thank you all. I really appreciate it.
Before Joshua leaves the stage, I want him to talk about another project we're doing this year. The Word and the Beat is a devised show I've done a few times over the years, which is original performance and a hip-hop aesthetic. We were scheduled to do that in one of our theaters next semester, and instead we've converted into a year-long project, which Joshua is helping to produce, so maybe he can tell you a little bit about it.
Yes. I love you, Miss Caroline.
Back at you.
So, over the summer, everything was everything, and I was in a difficult place, but coming out of it with my art making, with my creativity, and thankfully Miss Caroline emailed myself along with my partner Micaiah Fox to help produce this work called The Word and the Beat. The Word and the Beat has been produced for about 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, we go all the way back to Hurricane Katrina. What was that, 2005?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So with this iteration, we're calling it Black is We, Black is Free. Basically, but in all of its complexity, it represents all of blackness across the diaspora. Acknowledging everything that we are as Black people, everything that we can be, everything that we will be. Even in reflection, I just spoke to someone who is from South Africa, I believe, and we spoke about how those in Nigeria, those on the continent, don't necessarily feel that we as Black Americans always support them. And that was heartbreaking for me, you know, to hear that the energy isn't being reciprocated. So with something like this, with a piece like this, with Black is We, Black is Free, it's an opportunity I see for us to show that unity and show who we are and be who we are and grab each other from across these lengths, across the Atlantic, and build together and be together and remain together and heal together. So this piece is going to be constructed of everything from dance to music, playwriting, acting. There's movement, there's body, there's sound. There are also art installational pieces along with other visual art. We're grabbing talent from literally across campus, which is going to be really, really dope. And I'm very, very excited to be producing it. There are so many people, so much talent across this campus, so much talent across the world. And with a project like this, as a college student right now, where I am in my life, a project like this gives me the visions of things that can be developed later in the future, because we're not stopping, period. Thank you so much.
Black as We, Black as Free is going to be a year-long series of pieces that we release on film, and as Joshua said, it'll be composed of many different talents across campus. So if you are interested in knowing more about what we're doing, anybody can email me at cjsmith@oberlin.edu. Pretty simple. And for the theater department side of what I do, we have a newsletter, electronic newsletter we do every month. We are having a series of roundtables. The last one was wonderful. It was 2 young African-American professional writers being interviewed by one of our faculty members. The first one we did was of 4 artistic directors from Cleveland theaters. So with Black as We and Black as Free, if you will email me, I'll make sure that you know how to find the pieces that we're releasing. And because we're having a 3rd summer semester this year, which is completely new and different for Oberlin College, the first half of summer, I have a performing group who are going to build more of the piece, and we're going to be right in time for Juneteenth. We thought if we have to be here in the summer, we're going to make it work. I did want to say before we get ready to leave you that all the students here have a wealth of experiences, and as I said earlier, we're very, very fortunate that we have been able to be here in residence and to have classes that are live. We did a thing that I think is very, very smart. We allowed all students to choose if they wanted to be remote and not come to campus at all, come to campus, have remote classes, have a mixture of classes. Some of our classes are described as hybrid, which means different things for different classes. So, and some classes are entirely live in person. What's great about this class is that I advertise it as hybrid, thinking maybe we would get tired of sitting in a room with masks on and socially distant, but you know what? We love it. We love being in the room together. So we're just in the room together. We're not doing any virtual classes. So I wanted to see if some of the students would maybe come back up and just talk to you a little bit more about their experiences. And I want to encourage you again to think about this school. We were having a meeting of the arts professors, and we were saying that we don't think we always get the message out about how strong we are in the arts on the college side as well as in the conservatory side. The conservatory is, of course, world-renowned, as it should be. Many of the students work across college and conservatory. We're one of the only institutions in the country who have an integrated college and conservatory. But sometimes that overshadows the power of what our students are doing in art, in cinema studies, in dance, in music in the college, and in theater. So we encourage you to check us out. We're working on a website that'll be focusing specifically on the arts in the college. But in the meantime, I was thinking that maybe CD or Joshua, who live in African Heritage House, might tell you a little bit more about that. Is that right, CD? No. Is Joshua, are you the only one here who lives in African Heritage House? Anybody else? So I was thinking that maybe you could hear a little bit more about also the activities from Africana Studies and African Heritage House. African Heritage House is part of a system of dormitories we have called program houses, and they're really special experiences. Oftentimes they follow different languages, French, Russian, Spanish, but also they're African Heritage House and Asia House and Third World House. They follow a different pattern of why students would like to focus their lives around those themes. And it really makes a difference. Let me tell you, having been here a long time, having this kind of housing option often really brings students into community and gives them many, many outlets socially, academically, and with mentorship and the ability to practice leadership. So, Joshua, you want to come back up and just say a little bit about African Heritage House, and then I would just want to invite others of you to maybe just come up in the time we have left to just say a little bit more about what you've been doing here at Oberlin. If you're new, I think it's important to hear what it's been like to be here. It's not, it's not college the way college normally is, but yet, as I was saying with Peter, we are having an experience. I know that when school started, a lot of students of one of my other class is a first-year seminar, and some of them were just saying that they were so grateful they got to leave home and go to college because they had so many friends who were still staying at home, doing college remotely. So we feel very blessed, and we feel like our community has worked really hard. Our students have taken the safety precautions so seriously. I mean, so seriously that in 3 months we could have had only 19 cases positive. And as I said before, no spread, really good process of how to manage that. So we're digging in for another month till people go home at Thanksgiving. And we'll have school from January to April, and again, May to August. So if you're a prospective student or family, we'll be here January, January on. After you do your applications, you can still check us out. So again, my email address is cjsmith@oberlin.edu. Caroline Jackson Smith, Professor of Theater and Africana Studies, Chair of the Theater Department. And I'm happy to try to answer other questions, refer you to other folks. We have a wonderful admissions staff. And as you can tell, we're using every form of creativity we have to bring you this program in lieu of having you here in the Cat and the Cream live in person. But hopefully, y'all will make it here and be live in person on Oberlin campus. So I'm going to call Joshua back up and just talk a little bit about African Heritage House. And then I'd love it if everybody just kind of stepped back through one more time before 10 o'clock and just say a little bit more about who you are and what kinds of things you're doing here at Oberlin. Thanks.
Hello again.
Hello.
Yes, so African Heritage House, a house, so many names. African Heritage House just recently, this past year, celebrated 50 years of being here at Oberlin College. Yes, clap. If you at home, you better clap too. The the house is a space that has been carved out over generations by everyone that has been on this campus, period. Right now we have Dr. Candace Rayner as our in-house for African Heritage House. She also teaches a course that I'm in, Lift as We Climb, which basically, let's not get off track. So the house,
You have to tell what it is now. You brought it up.
I do, man. I mean, it's a dope class. Basically, actually, yeah, I'm gonna tie it in. You know how we do as Black people. Come on. The course discusses HBCUs and how HBCUs have helped to sustain higher education among Black people for generations. Within that, we know Dr. Candace Rayner has also, she got her graduate degree at, I should know this, Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, where she's from. And basically the course really just bleeds into the rest of the Africana Studies courses. And the same way that the Africana Studies courses are a micro or macrocosm of all the Black people and Black students on this campus, the house is as well. The programming at the house spans everything from Soul Session that we have, which is literally what we just did. Soul Session, you get up, you share who you are as an artist. That could be a monologue, that could be music. Right now, oh my goodness, I love Reggie. So Reggie in the house always has his music. Reggie, I don't know his SoundCloud, but I probably should. Basically, everyone in the house gets to express who they are. It's really a safe space for the community, and the programming that's there, we have things for Black History Month, we have things for Kumbah Week, we have things coming up for Halloween, and I'm gonna stop now because I'm getting a signal.
Well, thank you, Joshua. And I have to say, the Africana Studies program serves students of all walks of life in the college, and it's not uncommon for me to have 50 students in Intro to Africana Studies of all backgrounds. So I'm just gonna whip through and say, Peter's one of our first years. Just closing words.
Thank you for that. I was cold called. So I'm Peter Freywitzer. I guess I'm a first year, so obviously this was not what I thought my college experience was gonna look like, but it is an experience, and I definitely thought for a while that I wasn't gonna be able to be on campus at all. So it's amazing that I'm able to be here, and living away from home and having the actual college experience that you're supposed to have is definitely an amazing privilege, and because Oberlin has been so good about all of their policies. I think Miss Caroline was talking earlier about this senior project that Anna, I don't remember her last name, I should very much know that, is doing this one-woman show called Funny Girl. I've gotten the experience to work the tech on it. I'm going to be designing projections for that show, which is going to be great because I'm going to figure out how to design projections for a show, because I've never done that before. So we actually have our first production meeting tomorrow, so I'm really excited for that. I think, the one-woman show format is great for the COVID era, because all you need is one person in the space and a couple of people filming. So it's great to be able to work on that show, and that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, because I am not an actor, I'm a tech person, and this whole class is like a little bit out of the realm of things that I usually do, but it's definitely like a new challenge, and I like writing, so I mean, Oberlin is definitely the place to do that and to take classes that you didn't think that you were going to take when you came. So I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you. Luz, want to say another little word from the West Coast background? That mic is tall now, but I think you can make it.
How do you? I don't know how.
You can pull it down towards you, just the top part.
Oh yeah, okay. Hi, I'm Luz. I'm a second year. I'm currently declaring my English major, which I'm excited for. I was going between that and a political science major, which I think is kind of why I'm like taking this class. It's sort of mixes my two interests. I think a big inspiration to my writing is my mother is Cuban and my father is Irish, and like any place, obviously, there's histories of political struggle, but I generally draw from that in my work. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. No, that's good. Thank you. Owen, want to say a final word? We got about 4 minutes, I think. Owen? Yeah, no? We have about 4 minutes, is that right? Okay. Okay.
We talk about anything in particular?
No,
Just
okay.
Okay.
Any final words, anything about Oberlin people might
Anything
wanna
about
know.
Oberlin? I'll continue on the theater department thing. I'm working on the Moliere show as the assistant stage manager. It is, as Ms. Caroline said, an audio play, and that has been an interesting experience, especially as we have rehearsals on Zoom and in person, especially when those Zoom rehearsals happen during thunderstorms and we lose people. But it's going along well, and it's been really amazing to see how the theater department has responded, and just everyone is doing their own thing, and they're all kind of working so far, and so it's been really great.
That's good.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you. Siri.
Sorry, hi, I'm Matsuriso Matsubula. People call me Tsiri. I am a first year. What? Sorry. I'm a first year. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I've lived in Los Angeles for the past 4 years. I was on scholarship at a boarding school in California, which is the background that I came from coming to this school. And my family is South African. So one of the interesting things about going to that school was just my experience with the theater department there, and the way that I kind of felt like theater wasn't going to be a place for me ever again in my life. But then coming here, meeting Miss Caroline as the head of the theater department, having a black woman as the head of the theater department. Okay. Woo! So that's one of the things that encouraged me to continue doing theater, and is why I'm still here right now, deciding between theater and creative writing and Africana studies and psych. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm currently involved in Fires in the Mirror, which is a verbatim theater play. Theater play?
It's not
which,
confusing.
you know what I mean. It's a verbatim theater piece, and I'm really excited to continue with that. So I hope that gives a little bit more insight as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Let's see, we got 2 minutes. Graciela, Isaiah, you want to say goodbye? Hello, goodbye. Or Tony, are you still there? Tony or Dom? Do either one of you want to say good night? I don't know if we can get you back. I don't know. Isaiah or Graciela?
Hello. Graciela again. Yes, first year we went over that. I'm doing 2 shows, so I'm slightly overwhelmed all the time. I'm also in the Moliere piece, and as Ms. Caroline mentioned, I'm in Big Spender, so that's kind of saucy. I'm like I said, I'm at the point where almost too much on my plate, but it's just enough, and I think we're still talking about Oberlin things. I think Oberlin's really given me the opportunity to be able to do a lot of things all at once, which I really love to be able to do that. I love having a really crazy schedule. That is me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Isaiah, take us home there. I don't know if we can find our remote people. I know we're about to get
I'll make it real quick. Isaiah again, first year, Oberlin track thrower. Did not think track would happen because of COVID.
Yeah.
But it has, and Oberlin's done such a good job that I'm able to continue doing something I love. About this class really quick. Originally, I did not sign up for this class, but I ended up getting in it. And I must say, it is the best class I've taken so far. As a freshman, that's not saying much. I absolutely adore Miss Caroline Smith. She has definitely let me open up as a person and write pieces like this that I performed for the first time.
She built like that.
Yeah, she is. And be able to really, open up inside. So I have to say, if you come to Oberlin, please, please, please take one of her classes. That is all I ask. Thank you so much for coming to this, and enjoy the rest of your week.
That's love.
Good night.